Hey there, fans. We're coming back from a big weekend win in Bradenton, Florida. We're here with Ryan and Javi in the shop tearing down the motor on the great car. We're going to do some questions, but first we're just going to talk to Ryan a second about how he felt about last weekend.
Man, what can I say? I'll hand me that wreck if you don't know. Man, what can I say as far as the weekend goes? I guess it couldn't have gone any better. We finished up the season pretty strong, which I'm always pumped about. A couple of years in a row, the first two NPKs, we fell short. Both the first two seasons by a couple points, and a couple guys got around us at the end. Obviously, Birdman being the very first NPK winner, and Mike Murillo being the second. A couple of Texas boys clipped us right there at the end, but we were able to pull it off last year, and this year it went pretty smooth. I mean, we were talking about it today. We had, as far as to finish the season, I didn't want to talk about it a lot, but when we were at next to the last race, we've not had any catastrophic engine failures, and so we bolted this motor in at the beginning of the year, and I got a spare, and we said, well, it's not uncommon that you got to switch in the middle of races or whatever. We have never taken this motor out, so we've serviced it inside the car, but we've never taken it out. So, but I don't know, that was pretty cool to me. We started the season with this motor, we finished the season with this motor, never pulled it out. So I was pretty stoked about that. Obviously, winning the championship's huge. I don't know that it's even still set in. It's like so crazy. The road to get there was so crazy for us, and then as soon as we get back, it was straight to SEMA, and then as soon as we get back from SEMA, now we're actually taking today to work on this car, but we're gonna go switch right back over to the red car, and we got to get that car ready for the street. We leave in a few days to go somewhere, which we don't know where, and go street race for America's List. So it's like my mind goes straight from, okay, we got the championship done, now straight to something else. So I don't know if we haven't got to celebrate it. I haven't got to take anybody out to dinner. We have done nothing. So we're going to get all that stuff done, but we're gonna get this car. We're gonna get the motors out of these cars. Excuse me. I'm gonna get the motor out of this car. Both of my motors from this year are gonna go up for sale, and I got a couple things I want to do to the car to get it ready for next season. So we're gonna take the off time for this car and do that. And I don't know, Hob, how do you feel about winning the championship? Let's ask Hob how he feels. I'd like to know how you feel about winning the championship.
Man, it was a long season. Big weight off your shoulders, especially the way we kind of shanked the second to last race.
Yeah.
I shanked that one, so you just I don't know. I feel like it's one of those deals where the snowball effect kind of gets in your head, where you're just like, man, shit's really starting to go downhill.
Yeah.
The ship is sinking. But I called some favors in. I got my buddy Grant came in, and we serviced the car at the track and found some things that may or may not have failed, and got those out of the way. And I don't know, I felt like we went in there with the best car capable,
I think we did, yeah. Grant,
fresh is fresh.
Yeah, like we always service the car the same way, and Grant had a big find with the main bearing that had an issue.
Yeah.
And it was a small issue. I don't even know. I mean, honestly, I think it probably would have made it through the whole race and not have a problem. But it was a big find for us just to know, to peace of mind, that he caught that and we fixed it before there was a catastrophic failure. So I don't know, man. It's crazy. I don't think, honestly, I guess I'm gonna answer the question. I don't think either one of us is really set in, because we just went straight back to work. So
Yeah. SEMA's work. I don't know.
Yeah,
most people don't know that.
SEMA was work, just getting there, and now this is our actual first day back to work on this car. We took it out of the trailer since the championship run just now, and we're gonna tear it apart, get ready for the street.
No days off.
Not for this car. We're not taking this car on the street.
No.
The red car.
We're taking Old Faithful to the street.
Right on. Well, Ryan, we're going to go right into some question and answers for you and Javi. First one is going to be Nick Skinner. Nick asked, how many NPK trophies are you holding now per win, not championship?
For the season, 6.
Yeah, we won 6, counting the last one.
6 for the season, yeah. The very first race was, so there was a total of, I think this is right, there was a total of 15 races. And the first one being, they called it a qualifier, a no points race.
We won that one.
So we won the first one, and which it's already on TV. Everybody's already seen that. And we won, and by finishing up the last race, we won a total of 6, 5 of those being a points race, 1 of those being a qualifier. That is just for season 4. And that is the most wins we've had
In 1 year?
in 1 year in a No Prep Kings season.
So season 1 we won 1 race?
I think if I remember right, season 1 we won 1 race. Season 2 we won
I can't remember after.
2 or I think 2 or 3.
That we're gonna go to the people, the stat people at
There are
Discover.
stats people.
Stat
yeah.
people, we need your
Yeah.
help with that.
And then the 3rd season, I want to say we only won 3 out of 9 races.
I think so. I think it was
3 out of 9. I think we won 3 out of 9. So this year we went 6 out of 15.
I would say this was our best year. I would say. Besides
Best-
that, we won, but I meant like I feel like number wise,
Yeah.
round
This is-
wise, and
this-
everything.
Yeah, this is our best year for sure.
Great. Okay, guys, I'm going to put you on the spot here. David Martinez asked, how much of a good friend is Javi to you and your family? Can you please answer me this question? How come Javi helps other drivers? And I know you guys help everybody. So
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah, that is a very good.
That is a good question. So I'm going to answer the first one. So the first question is Javi good for? Yes, me and Javi. Javi we're around I'm around Javi and Javi's around me more than any other person in either one of our lives, would you say?
Yeah.
Maybe with Cherish with me,
yeah.
and you know, even your girl, you don't
Yeah.
you don't get to spend all that much time with her because we're on the road so much.
Family and friends and everything
So
like
I
that.
think of Javi as a little brother, most of the time, and we argue back and forth like either a little brother and a big brother would, or like a married couple would,
Yeah.
or no telling because
Father
you know,
and son, shit like that.
yeah. So nah, man. Javi's my dude, and we're very close. And Javi's very close with Dax. He's very close with Cherish. He's close with my mom. My mom answers the phones up here, so he's around my entire immediate family. So we consider Javi to be family for sure. Absolutely, 100%. Now the next question is.
Sometimes we need time away from each other.
That's
That's when we get the
100%.
weekends off.
That's 100% true. There are times where I'll come up here and work, and then I just don't even bother him because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let him do his thing on the weekend. I ain't even going to call him. I did that this weekend. I came up
I
and
didn't-
worked. I put wheels on my truck.
Didn't even call. I walked in the shop. I go, well, somebody put their wheels and tires on the truck. Cause
Yeah, it was me, and I didn't even bug you and call you and ask you to come help.
He didn't even tell me. He didn't even call me and ask me, "Hey man, where's this at?"
Yeah.
'Cause for one, I didn't know because I haven't been here. So
Yeah. Second part of that question is, why does Javi help so many other people? So
good karma, man. Good karma.
we believe in a good karma thing. So we believe, like, you know, if you help your other racers, here's the thing. If, you know, there might be some tricks and tips that we don't share, but if we can help, especially one of our 405 guys, advance or be better or whatever, I want to share them with that because I think that if I can outrun them and they know some of the stuff that I know, then we're accomplishing something. I don't want to outrun people just because I've hidden all the information that we figured out. And so me and Javi kind of share the same thing with that. Javi always asks me if somebody comes to him. So it's pretty cool. All the 405 guys, you know, Sean says, hey, can I borrow Javi for this? Or Jeff will say, hey, can I have Javi line me up? They ask me out of respect, but that being said, I'm never going to tell anybody no. So now it's always going to be up to Javi. If Javi doesn't want to help somebody, that's a different story. And doesn't happen very often. I haven't seen very many people, especially for the 405, that Javi wouldn't help.
I know if my ship is sinking, which it has a couple times, it was sinking. They're like, Lutz, dude, anytime. I help that dude anytime because when I break something or like there's something I need welded up, I don't have to ask twice. I just have to show up at his door and he welds it.
There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you don't see. Jeff Lutz is a good example of that. If we break headers,
I fuck shit up.
One of the things with this car is it's just a blower car. They just crack headers every now and then, and it's common. Like I'd say we had the headers off 3 or 4 times during the season, and Jeff is welding them for us every time. So we've always got an on-the-spot weld guy because we're always traveling with Jeff, or we're in the same race that he is, or whatever. So because of stuff like that, we try to treat it like I'll scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, you scratch my back type of thing. And that goes even when we're home. When we're home and Jeff is at his shop or whatever, a lot of times we'll have something that needs to needs to be welded in an emergency, and Junior will weld it for us, or Jeff will weld it for us, and Junior will come here and work for me if I need him to. So man, we ain't probably never gonna tell those guys no. Just what it is.
That's great.
The other guys, maybe because I like them, that's about it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. People,
Hey, there's some guys not on the 405 that we help.
Yeah.
That we're just because look, there's some good dudes like No Prep Kings. It's it has the perception that everybody hates each other, but we've also been around each other for 5 years now, and so everybody's kind of become friends. You might not like them at the time, and you might want to kick their ass at the racetrack. There's no doubt, but man, if anybody needs, I loaned Swanstrom so many parts this year, it is out of control. How many blowers we loaned that dude? He came over probably 5 or 6 times.
5 or 6 times.
For blowers, Pro Charger parts,
gear drives,
drive parts,
gears and stuff.
Gears.
Teaching him how to put gears
somebody
in
asked, I think he asked me for a strut one time, which I didn't have a strut for him. If I would have, I probably would have gave it to him.
We did have a spare strut. It was just not what he used.
Yeah. So man, we pretty much try to. Everybody knows me and knows us, and usually we always have a lot of people come to the trailer wanting to borrow stuff, and it don't bug me.
We're the No Prep King Woody Mart.
Yeah, the trailer seems to be the parts store at the track.
The Walmart at the racetrack.
That's right.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that way sometimes. We got a whole whiteboard though that we just write your name down.
Yeah, don't worry. That's the only way we're gonna remember it.
Yeah.
Don't think you're gonna get away.
Yeah.
That's great, guys. Okay, Ryan Hunn. Ryan asked, would you ever think of going full out drag racing, being on a prep track?
Well, A, we are full out drag racing. But B, I think what the question, I'm gonna decipher what he's trying to say, and I think the question is that he's trying to ask is, would you maybe go to the NHRA and go race or whatever?
Or is he talking about like a prep race?
He's saying a prep track, but I think that's all.
Yeah, man, probably.
I think that's what he means. That's what I'm going to say he means anyway. So I'll answer it like this: would I ever go prep track racing? Sure. Yeah. If MPK ever goes that way, I'm there 100%.
Goes rogue.
If we go rogue and we go so we went from no prep to unprep, and then if we go to prep, because we're unprep right now, we're unprep racing. So if we go to prep, that will be crazy. So yeah, no, I would totally do that. Although I don't have any desire to race in any other organization other than MPK or Street Outlaws or anything right now, just because we don't really have the time either. No Prep Kings and Street Outlaws is so busy, keeps us so busy, we don't have time to do anything else.
But hey, don't forget, you did whoop up on Richard and Alex on prep track.
We did that. We did
go prep racing one time.
Yeah. And we've dabbled in some radial racing in the middle there.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I'm just going to say yes. Yes, we would do that.
Perfect. Gordon Ferguson, I hear a lot about moving weight in the car. How, when, and why is this done?
Okay. So.
In depth.
Yeah, that's kind of giving away some secrets.
It's starting to.
But all the racers know. So basically, if we get to a track that is subpar, okay, not good, it tends to you get a lot of wheel speed. A heavier car seems to work a little better, and especially a car with more weight in the rear of it. So if we get to a racetrack that spins the tires or has excessive wheel speed after the first run, we'll take any weight that we have on the front and we'll move it to the back. This car, there's not a lot of weight you can move from the front to the back, because we don't run a lot of front weight anyway. We just run a lot of rear weight. But that's why you hear people say that. And then now, if we're hauling ass and the car's doing a wheelie, if the track is so good, which we've been to these, and the front end starts to come up, well, a planet car is going to always go forward faster. So we'll start moving 10 to 15 to 20 pound increments to the front of the car. So that's what all these tabs are. So we have weight in the back that's bolted to the rear. We can move it up here to the front. So we can put a big heavy bar right here. We can put small 5 to 10 pound pucks, and we can do it on both sides. And it's just to kind of keep the balance of the car and the car more happy going down the racetrack, depending on what kind of racetrack you have.
All right, good deal. David Morris asked, what do you think's the biggest factor in you being so consistent?
The biggest factor in me being so consistent would probably have to be, I would have to say, testing. A lot of guys are constantly flopping their combo, chasing it, trying to figure out, okay, well, I want to run this tire. Like, I see a lot of guys in No Prep Kings keep flopping back and forth on tires. In my opinion, it's one of the worst things you can do. You start out, whatever you start out with, when you take the off season, which we don't have much of, but you take the off season and you test your car and you're happy with your car in the off season with X tire, that should be the tire that you run for the year. A lot of times guys get caught up and they run a tire that they can manage to get down the track, but they know there's another tire that's out there faster, so they'll flop back to that, keep going, oh man, I think I can get it today, or whatever the case is, and they can't. And they end up losing the race or spending a whole test day chasing the tire, trying to get their tire to go faster when it doesn't. So I'm gonna say keeping your combo the same, not changing it around all the time, and then constantly testing it, trying to make it faster. So you start out with the season X, and you go and you win a race or whatever, but you go, for me, beginning of the season, Kai Kelly was real close to me or whatever. Well, I said, okay, you know what? I got to figure out what do I got to do to create a larger gap between him and I. That's my next move. So then Javi and I would find whenever the next 2 to 3 weeks off between a no prep race was, and that was our mission. We would go try to find numbers. So we would go to a racetrack that we know our car runs about this, and we would try to go faster and create a large number, because we know Kai's thinking, for example, man, I ran right there with him. Well, if he knows he ran right there with me, he knows he just needs a little bit more. If he gets a little bit more, he can either be right there next to me for sure, or even outrun me. So we try to, so as soon as somebody fast runs right next to us, and we don't always succeed, but we try to go, okay, how do we make this deal faster?
Or if you lose, you go find some little numbers because it's punishment.
Yeah, right.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this next question kind of goes into this one that you just answered. This is one of my favorites. It says, which driver this year do you feel like pushed you the hardest and made you a better racer?
That's kind of tough.
Lizzie?
No, and I'm gonna tell you.
Well, because it was bad air.
Yeah, season 3 for sure. Okay, it was Lizzie, right?
Yeah.
But season 4, I feel like it's a little bit different, because where Lizzie won her 2 races and where she outran us both races was Tucson and Denver. Tucson and Denver, for the blower people, are the elevation is high and the air's bad, and superchargers lose around 12 to 15 pounds of boost. I was down 12 in Tucson, I was down 15, 14 in Denver. So when she outran us, I really didn't, it was a close race. Like, we tried to make up for it down low. We threw way more power to it down low than we ever did before, thinking that we could try to make up for it. And it worked, because we got out on her both races, but she just ended up, coming around me because we didn't have enough boost to stay out in front of her at either one of those tracks. So I can't really say she's in my head for those 2 races, but I also knew that was an elevation race, and that the nitrous car, we knew when we went in there, okay, nitrous car is going to win these races. We knew it when we went there. It would have been really cool for us to pull it off, but we didn't.
No, we didn't.
Kai has been, man, him and I have gone round and round this year. Swanstrom for sure. Him being a newcomer and basically having the same exact combination that I have, and still, I believe, maybe possibly a better transmission. We knew he was going to be a threat because he had a good car, and his dad's smart, and they had the right people behind it. They had a Proline motor. They had Steve help them with the initial tune-up on the car. They paid the right people to start with. They paid the right people for the motor. They paid the right people to get the car lined out early. We knew they were going to be difficult. So anytime towards the end of the season that I outran Swanstrom or I outran Kai, it was a big deal for me. Now, Kai's a little bit different. He's kind of in my head over this. Kai hasn't outrun. I don't know if he ever has outran me.
Yeah, he
keeps tabs more than I do, but he's like,
I don't think he's ever beat us.
Yeah,
on at a track, like legitimately just straight. Like if they both leave the line at the same time, give or take, somebody's going to leave first. I don't think he's ever beat us.
Yes, but it's always super close.
Yeah, it's always a pecker extender, a bumper.
It's always, a bumper, a fender, or whatever. So, statistically speaking,
that's bad in our. That's not in our favor.
It's not in our favor, because eventually he's going to come around us, and we're going to get outrun by him. And I'll tell you what,
the odds are not in our favor.
The final race of the season, when we raced him in Florida, and he raced him in the finals.
I was like,
I really thought that. I was like, okay, that's gonna be. This is gonna
where
be
he
it.
gets us because
This is where he gets us. This is gonna be the end of season 4, and this is how it's gonna end up. And he's gonna outrun us here. And it was probably the closest race we've ever had.
Yep.
But Old Faithful here turned on the win light.
Yep.
So Kai, I think I'm gonna say Kai. I think Kai's and look, hey man,
And then he's just every year he steps his game up just like we do. Every year he
he
picks up little numbers here and there. And
he finished second in the season, so it makes sense. You know, the 1 and 2 guy are the 2 guys that should go back and forth during the season to end up on top. And I really feel like there's a lot of times that at different racing sanctioning events and series, it won't make, like, the 1 and 2 won't make sense because of points or the second fastest guy had engine troubles twice in a row or whatever the case is. But with this season for No Prep Kings, I feel like the most 2 fastest consistent cars ended up 1 and 2. So I'm gonna say Kai. I'm sure a really long Kai.
what did we figure out that you want? How many points you? What did you figure out when we were driving home the other day?
We finished the season with 10 rounds ahead of Kai, and I think 12 ahead of Swanstrom.
And that, like you said, you could have almost doubled the amount of points. Or what was it?
On who? On what?
On the amount of points we got is more than anybody's ever gotten one season.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I can't remember. It was something.
I don't know. There's some stats people out there that are keeping way better track of that than I am.
Exactly. More than both of us.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll let us know on YouTube.
Oh yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right, that's going to finish up the question and answer for this week. Hopefully we can get to you in a couple of weeks. Ryan's going to be traveling quite a bit, but as soon as we can grab him again, we'll definitely make another video.
For sure. We'll try to get you guys some content up in the meantime on YouTube. And you guys don't forget, go on YouTube, like, subscribe, follow, comment, share, all that type of stuff, and try to make we're trying to hit 100,000 on our YouTube. We're obviously not quite there yet, but we're almost at 70, so we got 30,000 more to go. So the more help we get from you guys, we're going to try to include some cool stuff, like we're going to do some helmet giveaways. We're going to do some prize pack giveaways, stuff like that. So follow us on YouTube, please. And until next time, see you guys later.
All right, thank you guys. Howie,
What's up, bro?
see ya.
Say see
See
ya.
you. Oh, later. I'm working.
That's right.